Welcome to the BAT community call for Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. We're having a great week. It's been a bit of a busy one, especially a busy day today. I'm going to start up Marvin now. Thank you, Marshall. Let me kick this on. All right. Just so you all know, we are recording in just
Recording is on.
Marvin is now on. And here we go. Let me get this for Mr. Marshall. So yeah, hope you all have been having a good week so far. We got some folks that are heading to Dubai, and I'm sure that they'll cover that in their portion of the call today. But yeah, I think we got the slide up too. Battern, you wanna kick us off?
Hello. Yeah, I'll kick us off.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. It was rough this weekend, though. I thought it was all over again.
I saw that you're like what you're saying, like COVID vibes or 2020 vibes.
Yeah. But the GCR came along. Was like, it's okay, lads. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Anyway, on more important matters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the ambassador update. So this week I've claimed batambassadors.sol. It's safe on my ledger because I have been having a lot of stuff on a hot wallet. So I can do the season 2 and 3 NFTs this week. I've got some art from Guillermo, and that'll be good. I've got a location sorted for a weekly bat meetup. It's like a local bar, but I actually live on what they call Bitcoin Beach, so there's like a fair amount of traffic for like people who'd be interested, and so yeah, that would be pretty good.
Where's that
I've
at?
reached out. It's in Lagos in Portugal. Do you know the DD Tutu?
No.
Like that guy from the Netherlands. He's quite a bit, kind of like a bit famous. Like the guy who sold his house in 2017 and put it all in Bitcoin, and now he's
yes, I remember that now that you mention it.
Yeah, but he has like a bar on the. I don't know if he has it anymore, but he had a bar on the beach for a while. But he has tons of stickers and stuff around, so it's a pretty good location to hold one fairly frequently.
Yeah, exactly.
I've reached out to Pooh to get them to advertise on Brave. Like we went on a guerrilla marketing thing. I think we're in a chat with them now, so wait to see where that goes. I've got Scott doing a karate combat live stream. I'm not sure if it's KK. Maybe that's Mortal Kombat, but hey.
KC.
And he's also made some shorts, which are pretty good, just describing like key features of Brave on his YouTube as well. But yeah, that's my update for the week. So I shall pass it along. Here we go, Paola.
Hi everyone. I hope that you're having a lovely day. So as you probably already know, last week Brave Talk integrated Leo into the calls on premium for premium users, and so for the launch, our bad ambassador Scott, Jenny, and I worked with marketing to create kind of like a short promotional video. I'm sorry, and now you can find it at the end of Brave's latest blog post. Sorry, and also it has already been uploaded to the Brave and Bad Community YouTube channel. And if you haven't, go check it out, please. And shout out to Jenny for all the editing of the video and putting everything together, and to Scott for being a part of this project and doing such a great job. And that's all from my side. I'll hand it out to, I think it's Guillermo for his updates. Thank you.
Oh, is it me already? Went fast on.
You're up, my man.
All right, I'll give you a quick update on Echo. I promised you roadmap. I don't think this is quite a roadmap, but it's close to it. So the first thing is we're collaborating with a project in Web3. I'm not giving too many details because we're still unsure if it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. We're currently in the talks, and it seems like it's going to happen. So the current goal is to token gate an NFT that we're going to drop on Echo for free that you can then unlock into a playable skin in game. That's the current plan. We're going to see if we can do it through this project. If not, we're going to try to see other projects that can be able to do it. We already know that DGenRel, for example, can. So that's an alternative. I know that Luke wants meme coins for next issue. That's a yes for me. I'll be very happy to work on that, and that can unlock possibilities in the future for collaborating with other meme coins or projects that support meme coins in order of exploring bad utility and bad use case, which I think it's always good. Next slide, veteran. Thank you. Infographics. We're going to keep pushing for new infographics. This way, we'll be able to have a broader audience that we can reach. We can better educate people on what we're launching, and we can just keep people up to date. I know that some people have the concern that we're not publicizing enough the new drops and new release and things like this. Um, I know that the marketing team is always working on it and trying to better it because it's a very fine line between advertising enough and over advertising, and some people might feel like they're being harassed by Brave, and that's something that they want to avoid. So we're going to do this. I already talked with someone that manages our socials, and we try to push for having this feature on Instagram highlights, which I think is a great audience to update people on new releases and better educate people on privacy, security, and whatnot.
It'll be good to have those infographics as well because we can get them translated into different languages once we've got the template and the images there, can't we?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know that you mentioned that before. That's a good idea that I did not revisit. But once we get them up, and once we start sharing them or just having them on highlights, I think we can start seeing, just testing and promoting and distributing them through our language channels and see what the feedback is on those. Maybe it can be helpful there as well, especially in LATAM because I know it's growing super fast.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we can find which one's the most successful, prioritize them. But yeah, let's move it on.
It's a good idea. This is another thing. Both Drew, Battern, and Jenny wanted me to work on branding for the community in order to having like a more cohesive look between all of the different things. And that's something that I'll be working on. I already have a logo done, but I want to run it through approval first and just run it through the community first and see what everyone thinks about it. And I think I can share it next week. I just don't want to overshare this week and not have many things to share next week. So those will be my updates for today.
Take it away, Godson.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Godson.
Yeah, my name is Godson. You guys already know me, and you saved the best for last today. Yeah, so we're currently in transition. I'm taking the lead on the African ambassadors. Most people know already, but if you don't know, I am Nigerian. We'll probably be going back to Nigeria pretty soon as well. So quick shout out to all the African ambassadors. We have a bunch of updates, but we're still like in the middle of transition. Shout out to Battern for helping me understand the landscape and what needs to be done and so forth. So he'll have to come up and let us know some more about the school that Stan and Shidi setting up, that we're getting a sponsored image on the browser. So he'll let us know about that, and then I don't think everyone knows what the plans are, Luke, but I think you know. So in the future, we'll be expanding massively, bringing on a bunch of new ambassadors, and then also some of their roles, just like the promotional stuff, some more representational stuff, without being too explicit on the plans. But yeah, thank you guys for having me, and I'm gonna pass it on to Ern to explain the blockchain school and the sponsored image.
Basically, it's just going to be handy having Godson around more to help lead everyone, because as we expand like to the next season of the program, it's going to be a lot more people now. So it's handy to have someone directly that everyone from Africa can talk to. So like Stan and Shitty have been helping quite a lot. They're like really good, and they've got like a blockchain school, which they've got Brave installed and everything, but they want to have a sponsored image, so we're getting that sorted from. We're just getting the template out and they're filling it in. I spoke to them today. They've got to get some good pictures of it.
That's awesome.
The template. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
we've
good.
got
It's good.
we've got inventory to run it in. Like especially in Africa, I think, or even beyond that, I think it's worth us doing. You know.
Well, the thing is, once you've got some people getting adverts and getting rewarded, then other businesses will come along. It's a virtuous cycle. People, the more people get adverts, the more people want to give adverts out.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's one of those things. Oh, go ahead. Didn't mean to.
I was going to say it's great. It's great to help two people who've helped us so much as well. So part of how the ambassador program works is that you find people who find out what they like to do and how you can help them, and then other people might want to do the same thing, and then you know how to help them.
I think it's one of those things where the program can be really helpful, like just to build on what you're saying, right? Like, it's not, things have changed with Brave as far as like our growth has gone, to where we can actually, like, if people are willing to put up the effort, we're down to like help however we can to get additional eyeballs their way or whatever, like with the tools that we have available and resources, etc. So I think it's a really great way to do that is through especially attention for sponsored images, and especially if it's like teaching, like it's like an education related thing. I think it's really cool that we can help like that.
Let me try and find the link when we move along. I can't talk and search at the same time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I think too, just a shout out to Scott, to the Crypto Dojo Scott. I think he's going to be at the Karate Combat thing, and you touched on that one of your slides. But for around consensus, we're going to have him, at the event, doing some live commentary from there. And I think that Sherelle, they okayed it, right? Like, wasn't that what you were saying earlier?
Yep. So we are all okay. We're just working out the final details, and hopefully I'll be able to share an update in the next week or so.
Oh, that's awesome. Such a cool team over there. They're so down to do whatever. I mean, I remember when we went to Vegas, they were like, oh, if you guys can take extra video too, that'd be great. And so Scott's certainly going to do that. It's awesome. Cool. And I think just some other kind of housekeeping. There's a couple things happening this week. One, we're doing there's going to be a press release and a bit of like the Astra network is doing a launch, a quest launch this week with Bandit Network, and we're actually a part of that, in that we're using that as one of the pilots to really drive quest volume through the ad platform. And so they actually are working on getting some press on that, I think with 2 different publications. There was a press release we were going through yesterday, and I think they're trying to get it to release today or tomorrow. But folks should be seeing ads for that in the coming week. And I think they're doing a sponsored image too for these Astra Network quests. And it's pretty cool too, because they are they're ZKEVM on using that Polygon ag layer SDK that they have. But they also, the Astral Network's also on Polkadot, which leads me to another cool bit. So everybody here helped, or most of you did, or some of you did, when we were asking for help getting the proposal out and showing support. And, we were kind of blown away. The proposal passed yesterday with a 97% yay vote, which was insane, because I think on Wednesday, earlier in the week, it was early Wednesday last week, I think it was at 63% or something. And we're like, let's just try to get it up to 75 and see who we can talk to. So Carlos and I, we did a bunch of, we had a bunch of conversations with some of the folks that were nay votes, and we also commented on everything. But the community also stepped up huge, and even like our social team in house like did some retweets and really stepped up. It was great, but we were able to get 97% yay on that proposal. So now it's time to actually get the work done. So Carlos and I are Carlos is putting together the actual distribution of the proposal to basically get the community thread going over in the open governance forum for Polkadot, so that we can plan all the details out on how that's going to work. But it's pretty exciting. It's like a $500,000 proposal that will run for 3 months with a planning phase in the beginning, and it's something that I think we can do on other DAOs as well. But pretty exciting there, and just want to thank everybody in the community that stepped up and helped us, whether it was like retweeting or commenting or liking or whatever, like anything any of you all did to help us get that over the line. It was much appreciated. We'll probably have more of these to come, but it was a great team effort. So the Quest thing's happening this week. That's happening. They got one more update too on. We did a bunch of these meme coin campaigns. We're hitting different phases of them now. The Mutai phase 2 just completed. We're getting ready to launch phase 3. We hit over 4 million impressions with them, which is pretty awesome. And then the campaign just completed phase 1. We're rolling into phase 2. With them, they actually just announced too that they're doing some NFTs that accompany the meme coin, or some collection or something like that we'll be promoting as part of phase 2. And then we added Wen coin last week, and they're in phase 1, and it's going pretty strong. And the community over there has been great. Just want to thank too, like Jimmy Bows, Nam, and a bunch of others, Battern, a bunch of other folks too that have all been working on the memes, and we've been kind of getting a bunch of the meme crafters together from these different communities to collaborate with our folks, and it's been a lot of fun to watch that happen. And it's really, I think, there's something to this, and we're having some other discussions with other projects too to add to the pilot lineup, and more to come on that. But right now we're kind of also just double checking how all the phasing is going and the campaigns. But so far so good. I mean, the results are just pretty banging insane. And we also did one other pilot too. I think folks probably saw it with this H3 Entertainment, which is a kind of like a Netflix incubator, but for short form content, which is super interesting. I had a call with them, and they were like, the production value is really good. And they're trying to kind of, as opposed to some of these things where it gets really drawn out and you have people trying different, we'll spend 6-8 months on a series and see if it does well or not. The tempo is much different there. They're building in a rewarding model into it too. But I was just really impressed with how mature the team was and a lot of what they have going. So I was like on the call with them. I'm like, well, what if we just kicked on something today and just see what we could do? And so I think I'm gonna post some results on that tonight. But we've been so far so good. Like it's not a meme coin, but it's showing what we can do as far as like driving people to like this trailer content and especially our audience that's pretty much down the alley of what they're producing. So if you haven't checked that out, we tweeted about it. I'll be tweeting about it again today. But pretty fun. Like the experimentation season kind of continues over here, but we're seeing a lot of traction, which is really great. A lot of these communities have just been awesome to work with. They're all stoked because I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong here, but a lot of the nice projects, it seems like they were kind of hitting a rut with organic growth, and we're able to kind of blow their minds a bit with what we're able to move the needle on, which is pretty cool. And so, more to come on that front, but there's some updates there.
I'm just going
Belladone
to quickly say something, if you don't mind, Luke. I think it kind of gives them a kind of legitimacy in a way,
Yeah.
Like, because we're like Brave's such a well-known brand in the Web3 space. Like, who doesn't know Brave? And by having adverts of us, it just it means they're a cut above the rest.
I think that's a great point, and I think that you're totally right with that. And that's one of those things where we also, like, initially I mean, we just kind of launched these and we're like, okay, let's see if these experiment, let's see what happens, right? Let's see if we can deliver the value. Because I mean, it was basically embedding with some of these teams and just hearing them out and trying to see where we could find a fit. And, it hasn't even been a month really. And the results, every campaign we've launched has just been bananas. And so I think it's one of those things where like, okay, there is something here. And look, like I think there's a balance to be struck about. I mean, the other things that have happened is like like pump.fun, or I think that's what the site is. Like it's like 4chan, but for making meme coins, right? Like and all these things have been out there flooding the market with different things. So I think we have to be careful with how we do it, but I think we should be anyway. But I think what we can find a balance on is like really like quality, like long-term or established kind of meme coin projects can join the lineup, and then also like some gems that are like newer and novel and really interesting memes and good communities and fair launches and all that. But it means just doing some homework on these things, and we're basically like before we launch anything with any of those projects too, like there's diligence process. Like I'm getting on the phone with their teams, we're doing our homework on the project status and asking tough questions and really kind of getting a feel, but I'm making sure that it's quality too, because like I don't think anybody wants to waste time with stuff that isn't, and we don't want to expose our community to junk either. And there's a lot of that out there. So yeah, I think you're exactly right on that pattern about it being like a legitimate thing.
Maybe it'll be instead of it being when CoinGecko, it'll be when Brave ads.
Dude, well, I mean, like some of the stuff we were seeing, right? Like, I think I talked about this last week, but with Mutai, and then we were basically like seeing them consistently trending, and it correlated with us launching the ad platform. But then also like and WenCoin, like we're seeing different second order effects happening from when we were running the ads. It's really interesting. Like the stuff, it was like they weren't close to trending before, but like the views that we started to see come in were just insanely huge, like a 54,000% or something like that. I tweeted it out because I couldn't believe it. It was like 6 hours after we launched. And then within a day or so, you start to see other metrics. And the part that's really fun for me with this is looking, it's awesome in the way that like when we launched BAT, it was one of the big things that was great about doing it this way was the fact that you have this like verifiable data that's public and transparent, all of that. And the fun thing about these meme coin projects and stuff like the Quest is that the lower funnel is the blockchain, right? So we can actually go and see like, okay, here's what our system is telling us the reporting is from the volume we're seeing in the platform. How well does that correlate with what we're able to see on chain, which is really cool, like to be able to see now, because you don't really get that with big brands and stuff. That's all stuff that's to come with as we get like Boomerang and some of these things open source, but and out there and deployed. But I think it's fun to do this with these meme coins and with these quests in the meantime. And I think it shows the market something too that's interesting. And I don't know, it's cool. I mean, like let's see where it goes. But yeah, like I saw too, Belladone had a question about any updates on the pending rewards for Uphold and self-custody Solana users. It's been asked a lot in the community. How's the self-custody rewards relic going? So I know that they were working on this. If anybody from rewards is on too, and you want to chime in with a proper update, feel free. I think I've been talking with a couple folks on the payments side that are processing, and they've been working on getting those payments out. Obviously, there's been some issues with the congestion on Solana, and the team's been running into failure rates that have been kind of rough, but they're being persistent and continuing to roll it out. I'm not sure exactly where they're at. I know that's in process, but I'm not sure what stage of the process it's in. If anybody from the team has a better sense of where we're at with it and wants to chime in, please do. But I know that they're working on it actively right now. And so, yeah, it's a first one too. So there's going to be some lessons learned there. I hope that helps, but it's not something where we're like, holding off. It's more of like trying, seeing what the rate is, trying, seeing blah, 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 like just like everybody else is dealing with right now, unfortunately. But it sounds like that's getting some reconciliation too. Aranyaka asked, is the next batch of whitelist users going to be after the April self-custody users get their payouts. I think it definitely will be. It's definitely going to be after that. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be or how big the cohort is, but I know the team's kind of planning some of that out now. And then, yeah, because you have some X users asking. I think that's natural. We're definitely going to get more people asking as this rolls out. But I think I'd remind people of is this is like a totally new thing for us too, and it might be a couple of cycles before, just so we can make sure that everything is working well before you add more to it, if that makes sense. But I don't have concrete timing on any of this stuff right now. But I know the team's working really hard on it. I mean, I think some of the issues too, because I know there's been a bunch of like pain points and friction on some of the wallet things with everything going on, with like the Solana issues were kind of cascading, where you had issues that were specific to network, and then you had issues specific to congestion and how wallets and dApps were handling all of that, and it was kind of like a when it rains it pours kind of Moore's law or Murphy's law in action, kind of situation, because while we had a lot of folks that were on the rewards settlement side, a bunch of these wallet things kept coming up, and so it was like kind of splitting resources to focus on both of those things. But the team's working away at them, and it looks like there's some light at the end of the tunnel, which is great. And remind people these are good kinds of problems of adoption versus people saying, oh, this stuff's all going to die a year ago or whatever. So anyway, more to come on this stuff, but I hope that helps. And this game is just awesome too, by the way. I'm just kind of I keep getting zoned in. This is like gingerbread man with a this is hilarious. Anyway, I'll open it up for questions, or if anybody else from the team has any updates or anything they want to share, please do. Or we can just watch Pattern being the executor. This is just Godson. How you doing, man?
It's the blue guy I hate.
Yeah. My question is a bit like, I don't know, esoteric, but with the meme coins and stuff, like, how does Brave match like who to push this to? Is it just going out to everybody? Is there like an opt-in? I'm not sure there's an opt-in. I kind of looked around. I couldn't.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think that's like super esoteric either. I think it's a really, really good question. So that's been part of the experiment with this, because we want to draw a line. Like, there are a lot of users, their first crypto they ever earned was with Brave rewards, right? Because we have a broader user base that we're bringing into this stuff. But at the same time, like a lot of the meme coin stuff is pretty much focused towards like crypto native people that are into it. And a lot of times, like, what we really want to avoid is like any overflowing into user cohorts that aren't going to be into it because they might be like hostile to it. It's kind of similar to like how a lot of gamers on Discord really hated crypto, and when like Discord even tried, I think it was Discord, they tried doing like sign in with Ethereum or piloting it or something, there was like a huge backlash. So like what we're trying to be mindful of is that like not having the meme coin stuff overflow into other categories. And whereas we're normally, when we'd have like a crypto campaign where it could be like DeFi or something, where it crosses between crypto and finance, like you would kind of cover both of those cohorts, right? Like with the targeting, because maybe they're curious and you bring them in that way. But with the meme coin stuff, we're being really particular about it. So there was one exception that came in through self-serve that we ran on news that we paused, that wasn't part of the pilot program. But aside from that, everything has been really ring fenced into like users that are we set up the campaigns to only target users that are on like crypto user journey. So they're signaling intent, like as if they're curious in wallets or curious shopping NFT marketplaces, or are specifically browsing things related to crypto, and only zoning in on that audience. And not just that, but like not hitting them too many times either, because the idea here is that we can show everybody that's eligible, show it to them a maximum of 3 to 5 times for the entire campaign, and a maximum of once a day. Because usually, like for something like a meme coin, you don't need to show them something a bunch of times, right? Like you don't even it's so different because they just need to see the ticker and then they're going to go do the homework. They know where to buy it, right? Like it's not like if we're selling like Chipotle or something where they want to know how many people came through the ad, how many people went and claimed the QR code on something. Like with meme coins, it's different. It's like how many people can you show this to that are relevant? Because and once you show it to them, they're going to go act on it quickly because they know what they're going to buy on. So what we're targeting with that is very narrow focus of targets like crypto related categories and only in doing it at a low volume. So, maximum of one a day with a total max of like either 3 to 5, depending on the campaign. But it's really ring fenced and really low volume, and just to see what happens, right? Like in one of these tests, we might try turning it up or so, but I don't really think we need to. Like, I think that it's the stuff we're seeing is showing that it's kind of correlating outside of our platform in an interesting way. So we're going to keep playing with this. A lot of the things that we're doing to optimize it, we're looking at, okay, what was engagement like per global region, because we're breaking these out into different regions. And so like Europe, for example, we've seen really high engagement rates on these in Europe, whereas other regions we have seen lower engagement rates. So we might rejigger some of the the geo distribution, and then also looking at operating system by operating system, because we break it out by that as well. So we can say, okay, cool, like Mac OS users have a really low engagement rate on this stuff. Maybe we just heavy up more on the put more of the volume on Android and Windows users, because that's where a lot of the engagement and positive signaling is coming from. So those types of things were kind of what we were optimizing from phase 1 to 2. And then with this phase 3 stuff coming up, we might do other stuff like, okay, let's add in a quest, like, and see how that performs when we promote the quest. But one of the other things too that I didn't really mention, so each of these campaigns that we're running a pilot with, we're running three different versions of an ad. So the ad itself might have a same message, but one ad might point to the actual Twitter page for the meme coin project. The other ad would point to like a specific tweet that they want to show off. Sometimes it's like the pinned tweet on the profile. Other times it's a piece of video content, like with Mutai, we've done. They've released new video content, so we'll point people to that piece of content. And then the third ad type, we would show them. We send them directly to the website for the product or for the project, so that we could see kind of like, okay, how were things observable? Like, did we see more visits on one over the other, etc., just to kind of get a sense of like what seemed to resonate the best with the project too. And so far, what we're seeing is that we're able to drive a pretty good amount of volume to the tweets, and that people like seeing the new content there too. But it's still early, so we're still trying to figure out more from this stuff. Some people have been asking, oh, can you send it to like a bird eye page? And I think we're kind of staying away from that, because we want to make it, we want to have the landing page be something that either the project controls themselves, like their Twitter account, where we know it's there, and not to some third party site like Bird Eye or whatever. But yeah, I hope that helps clarify. And I think Crippled Resistance has a hand up.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Unfortunately, I have to ask about Brave debt exposure, because last night I was watching a good YouTube about the banks not being very truthful about debt. So I was wondering, do you know Brave debt exposure? Or give us a hint or something?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Like, we don't typically put that information out in public, and I can't really comment on like things like debt exposure. I think Brennan has commented that we're good on funding for now, when he's spoken about it before. But again, I don't want to put words out there that I shouldn't, so I'm going to be kind of careful with that. But I do think that, like, we're as far as companies go in this climate right now, I think we're pretty okay with everything. The team's been building out, like we've got a bunch of new things landing. The revenue is getting better month over month. We're continuing to see growth, and the Web3 side of things is cooking. Just for one anecdote, I mean, like our MTU revenue on wallet was up like over 1,000% last month, because we've seen like a 40+% increase in active wallets, just because of activity, and that's even with some of the issues that were reported. And so like Ethereum or EVM Ethereum swaps were up like I think they hit a high last month. It was really pretty awesome to see. So I think that we're starting to see things turn a corner, and also the sales teams getting additional brands and things like that on at the same time that like Carlos and other folks like on the team are working overtime to kind of get additional Web3 advertisers and partnerships going. So as far as like health goes for the company, things are looking pretty good. I can't really comment on a lot of the financial details. It's not public information, but you guys would know. Like, we would be pretty transparent if things were stormy, or you'd see other signals, right? Like I think that's all I can really say about it. I know it's not a great answer, but yeah, like we're not a publicly traded company either, so we're not like we're putting all of our financials out there. But what we are putting out there with monthly growth, and also like you put up some bat buys last month as well. And I think that with some of these things and this attention that we're getting on the meme coin stuff and the incentives, I think see more of those coming as we onboard more into the program there, and get just more attention around the ad platform. So I hope that helps.
Well, it's not like I don't trust Brave. I just don't trust the banks, because banks like to do rug pulls all the time.
Oh, they're the kings. They are they pull more rugs than I don't know. I can't even think of a good example there to make a joke. Mainly because it's not funny, right? Like it's when the banks do it, it's a global crisis. And when crypto does it, it's ring fenced pretty tight. But yeah, I think it's interesting though. I mean, like it's interesting to see the overlap too. I don't know if people saw there was a Ethereum ETF in Hong Kong got approved and issued yesterday. It's pretty interesting stuff going on there. And I know that Carlos and Drew are actually in going to Dubai for Token 2049. I don't know if either one of them were on this call. I think they both might be traveling, but outside of the US, like crypto stuff's on fire right now. Like one of the interesting things about working with the Mutai folks and being close to those
sure
guys,
is.
It's just really cooking over there. So yeah, I think it's going to be more and more apparent as things go forward that if the U.S. doesn't get their act together with the stuff, it's just going to fall farther and farther behind. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of interesting stuff going on with Bows. How's it going?
Oh, it's going, man. I had a really important question. You mentioned you had updates on the Luke Backyard Barbecue.
Yeah, so we were kind of looking at maybe consensus in Austin for doing something for that because we're going to have some folks there. We're working on dates for that. I know that some of our marketing team's going to be out there too. I was just speaking with the team on that before this call. So it's looking like something probably will be happening there, but I should have a date next week, I think.
When is consensus again?
End of May. I think it's that last week in May.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was the very beginning of next month.
No, yeah. There's Bitcoin Asia is I think in the 8th to 10th or something in Hong Kong. I'm actually going to be out there for that, and I'm going to meet with a bunch of projects out there too for that. So there's Token 2049. It's happening this week. We got Carlos and Drew out there for that, and then I'll be in Hong Kong for the Bitcoin Asia thing, and then Consensus will be the next big one that a bunch of the team are going to as well. So if any of you all are in any of those next to the woods, let us know. We would like to hang out in real life and say hello. But also a big shout out to Scott at Crypto Dojo. He's really stepping up. It's cool to see. And then Dan Murphy and I also had an interesting discussion yesterday with, I don't know if you guys remember Hashoshi. He's like a podcaster and he has a YouTube channel. We did some interviews with him a couple of years ago, but he did a bunch of videos about Brave. He's interested in doing some more, so he'll be putting out some content. And then we saw some cool like short, like 60-second videos that this one guy was putting out there about Brave that were really awesome too on Twitter. Lots of cool stuff happening right now, but yeah. Bows, the memes have been on point. Jimmy too. Good Lord. Very good. Very good. Very good stuff.
Oh, you like my Giga Chad Muay one?
I love them, man. Like I love all of them. Like I just love the fact that like I always feel weird throwing you guys in the group. I'm like, oh man, I hope they're not annoyed that I'm like putting them in these chats. But like at the same time, I'm also like, when I put you guys in the chats, like this good stuff happens. So I'm just kind of winging it while like throwing you all in there.
Yeah, I need to figure out one for Win and I haven't done any for them yet. I had a really good Muay Thai one idea, but by the time I got to a laptop, it was long gone from my head.
Inspiration works in mysterious ways, man. They the Chad Gold guy they have is just hilarious too. The content team there, they were insane. It's really funny to watch it. But yeah, it's good stuff. Even this game, like it's kind of cool. Like you all brought this game to the project, right? Like, and I remember we were doing those NFTs with them, or they were doing the NFT mint, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
We should try and see if they want to get some adverts.
We should, man. Like I'm down. I mean, like let's rekindle with folks that I think there's lots of room for things like that right now. Cool.
It's one of those games I don't play it for a bit, and then I play it for a bit, and it's like, oh, it's actually pretty fun. It's kind of like old school, kind of like GoldenEye vibes. You can't go into it like with the premise of like a modern kind of shooter. It's more like, oh, just shoot people.
I like that. That's nostalgic. GoldenEye was so good. Yeah. Anybody else? What else do you guys want to talk about? Lots going on. Moonbeamer too. Are you going to be out in Austin the end of May? We should have you come out too.
Hey guys, I'm at work just listening in, but
oh my gosh, well, don't get in trouble.
No, you're good. Austin, I don't know. I'll have to check it out. We'll see.
All right, we'll hit you up offline.
All right.
About that. Yeah.
All right.
Get back to work. Cool.
So is that actually a backyard barbecue? I always thought it was a meme.
I don't know. It was a meme. Like I don't know if it'll be a backyard or like a barbecue joint or something. We just do a meetup at or whatever. But maybe they have a backyard.
I thought you were cooking it up, Luke.
Oh, good Lord! Don't volunteer me for that.
To be fair,
I'm not about to go to Austin and show them how to barbecue. I get my ass kicked.
Well, that's why I was wondering why you wanted to do that consensus. I was like, that sounds dangerous.
Well,
Drew might show up and you might disrespect Drew a little bit there.
Oh, no way, dude. Drew showed me some really good Austin barbecue when I saw him there. We went last year, and that's kind of why I'm just like thinking about that barbecue is really good.
Well, no, I meant like you would cook it up and for Drew in Austin, and he'd bring his family, and then they might not talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't play with that fire though. Like I would want somebody better at barbecuing than me to do that, especially in Austin. Like they do that right there. And yeah, I'll be happy to be a tourist and eat it up. We actually met with Sandesh from Bandit Network there last year at Consensus. Was the first time we'd actually met in person, and we were kind of brainstorming what we could do together. And now a year later, we're doing stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm really impressed with those guys. More to come there too. I was checking to see if the article is published yet, but let's see. Is this transparency page to be updated? Let me see. I looked earlier today. It looked like there was. Let me see what numbers are there. March 2024. I can double check on status on that one. But it looks like the user numbers are current. All right. Any other questions, folks? Nom, too, big shout out, man. Like those memes have been awesome. By the way. Taco Tuesday. What else is there any meme coins that we should be looking at? I should ask you all here since we're all here. Or what are you guys even looking at them anymore?
I've heard of an upstart one called Dogecoin. They'd be interesting.
I think they might be too.
I'm gonna throw another dog in the ring. Woofy, WUFFI.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of them yet. We should definitely take a
Yeah.
look.
They even, I mean, I love Win, but their followers blew up to like crazy numbers in a week.
Oh, really? No, yeah,
check
we'll
out
definitely.
Woofy.
We were looking at what was it, Hund too? I think HUND, I think was the other one. But Woofy's good. I haven't looked at them yet. Yeah, we're taking like if there are any other ones you want to throw in the ring, like I'd love to like source them from community and like and due diligence on them and whatnot. But we're always open to hearing about more of them. I know that a bunch of folks are talking to Guac too, and we're trying to get a call set up with them. That's the one drag is just that we want to make sure we actually talk to them before we do anything. But you know, it is what it is. It's best to be careful. There's a lot to this game. Let's
So
get my.
what do you look for in a meme?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, one like the memes get like the thing I like about like or like when is that they're kind of culturally significant. Whom's cool because you can say it in any language, and like I don't know if you all talk to a lot of people overseas, but people just naturally will sometimes say like when they're trying to kind of speak the other language. It's kind of nice that it can be global like that. But like when is also something that like anybody working on a token project hears that so many times where there's good cultural things. But aside from that, you want to look and see, okay, how well distributed is a token, especially if it's a small market cap. Did they do like if you compare when to like right, like has a smaller holder base, but it was a fair launch, and I think less than 30% are owned by the top 100 if I recall correctly, holders. So you want to make sure that there's no like red flags on the distribution. You want to make sure like see how they're promoting themselves. And a lot of this stuff, it's like character, you know, and seeing how that's going, but also how active the communities are. Is it a lot of hypey bump and dump stuff, or are they actually putting out content? Is the content stuff that's like good? Is it something that you know you could see our team or in community like connecting with? Yes or no? Like, is the messaging good? Like all sorts of different kind of subjective things, but also like you know making sure that they're just like we're mitigating a bunch of the risk too. That's part of the reason why we do the actual call with them, especially if we have questions like sometimes these sites, like if you go check out like Bird Eye or some of the others, they'll actually like red flag certain certain characteristics that are observable, like there's a disproportionate amount of tokens held by the top 100 holders and things like that that are good little red flags. But really, a lot of it is like looking for known behavior. Luckily, I mean, we've been running crypto ads since 2019, and one thing we had to do early was look at like, okay, we want to be able to do this, but we want to be responsible with it, and what kind of criteria will we look for? And so a lot of that guides the process here, even though it is a little bit different. You're looking at a different type of a coin or whatever than what we would look at for more speculative stuff earlier on around DeFi or whatever. But I think you just want to get a good sense of like, okay, how active is the community? How new is it? If it's new, is it novel? Was the launch fair? Is it something that's probably gonna that's not just gonna get rugged? And you don't always know sometimes, and there's some risk. But from our position, we want to feel like we really kind of we feel like it's a defensible choice in doing this, because, like, if something goes wrong, it's bad on us. And just like it is with the broader crypto stuff too. So there isn't I mean, there's some criteria we look at for sure that's specific from each to each, but a lot of it is like a combination of different things that work together. And also, just like if we start to talk about it, like how responsive is our community? Are people hounding us? Are they hounding us with, like, negative commentary about things, or are they, like, want to collaborate? All sorts of things. But also, like, is there a product attached to this? Is there a potential for that? Are they thinking about it like that? Or is it just a community meme? Like, it's totally cool either way. But, like, if there are ways to tie this together with other stuff, like, those are things to consider too. Win Mad Lads. I'd love to do stuff with Mad Lads. They're a fantastic project. Any negative responses? I haven't seen any. We had one incident come up where, like, one project got through self-serve, and mainly because my fault for lack of communication. But this kind of goes to what we were talking about with Godson earlier about targeting. So those newsfeed ads are basically like the sponsored image, where we're not targeting them at a specific set of users. So, like, one meme coin campaign came through the newsfeed, and it got flagged internally, which was a bit of like, okay, well, it had some messaging that wasn't great, and then also, like, it was just like, look, like, we really should be more selective with only running us on a unit that we can explicitly target towards people that have a genuine interest in the stuff, to make sure that we're not, exposing people. Because people, I mean, I remember seeing, like, even internally, like, or not internally, but, neighbors and whatever, when you guys remember the Squid Games rug that happened last bull market, where I think there were some videos, people watching a chart were just dropped like crazy, but people saw that it was like a Netflix series and, like, thought that that was somehow legitimize it, even though it was a completely, total rug. And so, we want to be careful with these things, and where we run them. But the only negative stuff I've seen, like, has been when something's happened that was shouldn't have happened. Like, and when that does happen, like, we're pretty quick to say, okay, let's just shut it off and course correct immediately, and then do a postmortem and figure out what we could do to, like, avoid this happening again, which is just some internal chatter. But yeah, the Squid Game. I couldn't even the series. I watched it a little bit. It was pretty tough. That was a good question though. I'd love to talk to Mad Lab too. Oh, C-Ray, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm all right. I see as we're getting near the end, I wanted to ask any luck on getting Jan over. I've been trying to get Search in here.
Oh yeah. So Jan was on vacation last week. He got back on Monday, and so I'll ping him again. I pinged him when he was out, and last week I forgot to mention he was on vacation. But let me I'll send him a note right after this, and see if he can reply in that comms we have. There's some stuff with Search coming out. Like, I don't know if I should say it or not, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So, like, there's a new search feature that we're getting ready to release. That's gonna be pretty awesome. And so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Bows. You had a hand up, Bows?
Yeah, any updates on when Search API might get into Brave's Leo AI?
Well, that's a good question. I know they got the mobile stuff out. I know they're looking at it. I'm not sure what the timeline is. There's kind of like a research team huddle on this stuff right now going on, and a lot of focus on this search thing that they're getting ready to release. That's kind of like, you all have used a summarizer or seen the summarizer on Search, right? Where, like, some of the queries, if it's the certain type of query, you'll get a AI summarizer answer for that. There's actually like a really awesome upgrade to that coming out, where you're going to get like unfurled richer media and context to those outputs that are going to be pretty awesome. It looks like an answer engine basically, and that's like coming out. It's going to be pretty rad, and we'll want to get. I think like. Let me see if I can get him on next week, because it would be cool to get feedback from folks on that on the call, like first impression types of things. Because I think super excited about this. It looks pretty amazing. Like it's one of those things where you're like, damn, this is like potentially game changing stuff. Which is cool. It's the right mix of utility and new things, and everything with AI has kind of been stuck in prompt will bill, except for like stuff. It's cool to see like teams doing things like Marshall's been working on with Marvin with Leo and getting us in here, and then some of the stuff on search is awesome to see too. And I think like going back to even the interview that I had with Bondi last fall when the roadmap came out, and Bondi was talking about like a lot of things with a browser that you can do with AI that we're looking at, and it's really cool to see the team progressing on that, and really kind of putting the work in, because people sometimes they think, oh, it's just like a hypey thing. The reality is the team's been working on with AI with the browser for a really long time. Like even like Pete Snyder was working on ways to use AI with slim listing the ad filter list, and he talked about that a little bit on the recent podcast we did with him and Ryan Brown, that folks should check out on the website, the Brave Technologist podcast, if you want to take a look. But then even like the ad model, and some of the matching they're using, local machine learning, et cetera. So more and more of the stuff's kind of crossing over in the browser, and Brave's kind of the place to be. And I think you start to see kind of a narrative happening around like what apps have millions of users with the AI stuff, and people might just discover Brave's been doing this for a long time, and some of these features are going to help us to get on the map, I think, with that. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I will say the search API getting into Braves AI stuff. To me, that's honestly one of the most exciting new AI things for me, because like, yeah, I've used ChatGPT for some stuff like kind of like speed up writing tasks and help with proofreading other people's stuff, but Search API could allow Braves Leo to do things I can't do with some of the bigger AIs, and or at
Here's
least
the
as
thing.
far as I know.
Well, here's something for you guys, and I'm probably going to get slapped for doing this, but okay, you all are the community fam, so I'm going to put something in chat right now. If you go there and you turn experiments on, and then you go to search, and you input, I don't know, you could put something like Bruce Springsteen's albums, or something like that. There's a little AI icon next to the search lens. Let that rip and see if you like it, and play around with it, and act surprised later this week, and and give us feedback. We'd love to hear it. But yeah, you heard it here first. So anyway, who has a hand up? C-Ray?
Yeah, I was looking back at the podcast that you were talking about, and I wanted to bring up again, are you guys going to be considering getting, why am I not thinking the right word, but for us to be able to read everything, like for anyone that might be hard of hearing or whatever?
Yeah, I think that they have. I thought that we added that after this came up before, like transcriptions.
Yeah, because I was just trying to look. I didn't see anything on the main page. So then I went to, Pocket Cast and everything, and it lets me play as key takeaways, but it doesn't actually show like who said what or anything else that I'm seeing.
Oh, interesting. They don't have. Okay. So like I'm looking. Was there? Because like on the homepage too, it was like there's like a transcript on that first on the intro, but maybe we need to add that. Maybe we don't have that on the web playback one. I'll look into that. I have a call with the podcast team tomorrow. We do like a weekly about the podcast, and let me find out what the status is on that, because I just saw it on that first one on the intro, and I just assumed that it was on all of them, but I was wrong on that one. Also, if you guys haven't checked it out, so I'll put that link in the chat too. Take a look. There's some really good episodes there that we've been doing recently that are pretty solid. But yeah, so we're at time too. So I want to thank everybody. Batter, especially this game has just been awesome to watch. The DJ Royal, I see you guys are here. Awesome work on this. It's banging game. Like, let's do more together. Be fun.
That's just me on my PC.
Is that? I see like there's a DR profile.
That's I've got 2 instances of Brave Talk. One for the
well, in that case, maybe they'll listen to the recording and we can have some type of follow up. But also thanks Godson and everybody on the team, Paula, Guillermo, everybody who chimed in. We'll be back 1 week from today, same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks for spending the time.
Cheers, everyone.